Happy Sunday. All right. Well, happy Sunday night. All right. So let me do my little song. Let me through there. Let me through there. Okay. So let me through there is more than an anthem. For me, it's also a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We get ready to get into Sunday night. I watched some highlights. I absolutely refuse to give the Browns my attention, but there was some good football played by some players I've been cheering for. Shout out to the Jets for winning one. What the hell is going on with the Falcons that they lost to the Dolphins? And if anybody bet against Philly and bet to try to make money that the Giants will win, all you have is pipe dreams. Put the pipe down. I told you that wasn't going to happen. I told you Philly was not going to allow the Giants to defeat them the second time around. That first game was a gimme. That was charitable donation. And not by the quarterback, Jalen Hurts, but by some other members of the team who, felt like maybe he's making some business decisions or something like that, right? Because we know some of these teams, they make business decisions. Now, what kind of decisions are the Browns making? Okay, so I have a question for you. I'm not asking you, are the Browns trying to lose? Because I know that they're not strategizing to win. So if you're not trying to win, then you're trying to lose, right? No need to point out the obvious there. Kevin Stefanski, post-press conference, post-loss press conference, 2-6 now, making everybody aware he's not making any changes at quarterback. I'm not making any changes at quarterback, but a lot of changes need to be made. I'm like, yeah, starting with you. You need to be to look like the man in the mirror and get the hell on. If you don't have enough decency to resign to get out of these players' way, right? Because what happens when the offense strategizes to lose and the defense consistently tries to win? What happens? Myles Garrett on the sideline today, smashing down his helmet. Just like last week, it was Justin Jefferson with the Vikings. See, these players are doing the right thing. You can't expect a human being to hide their emotions week after week after week while the head coach tries to ensure that the undrafted free agent talent level QB that's playing QB1 over the franchise QB that they were going to pay $46 million to doesn't make mistakes. See, that's what's wrong with the Browns. They're trying to make sure Dillon doesn't look like the quarterback he is. They're trying to deflect from the point that Shedeur is better than Dillon because they want to win this game. Did they want to donate it to Drake May? Now, one thing I got right about the Patriots, when we looked at the list of the most sacked quarterbacks, I said Drake May was number 2, Jalen Hurts was number 3, Justin Fields was number 1. And I said, okay, let's see how this game goes. It went exactly like it should when you have a quarterback that's allowed to be sacked. Myles Garrett had 5 sacks. Was that a franchise record? So Myles Garrett was their leading tackle, 6 tackles, no assists. He had 5 sacks. He out here balling while Stefanski wants to make sure Dillon don't dribble on his chin. Why is Dillon getting so much protection? Is Dillon really getting protection? No, because he looks bad. We know he's bad. In fact, my question to you is, what is Dillon's trade value? What is Dillon's trade value right now? Make sure you say Dillon, because the second question is, what do you believe is Shedeur's trade value? Because here's what I believe. After the Patriots game that I said was pivotal, and Stefanski's post-game press conference was to assure that Dillon is safe. Here's what I believe. That Stefanski is trying to prop up Dillon's trade value while destroying Shedeur's trade value. And not necessarily to protect his stellar reputation as a coach, because he already sub 500, but to hurt another Black quarterback's career. Now, I've heard that we're not Browns fans because we're Shedeurians. Yes, we are. We're Shedeurians. And wherever Shedeur go, we go, whether it's in the league or out the league. And it's apparent at this moment that the Browns are holding Shedeur hostage because we're not trading him. He's going to play the last 4 games. When did the NFL become a participation trophy league? You get a turn, you get a turn, you get a turn. And propping Dillon up was more important than winning games because we saw the leader of the team visibly frustrated today with going out here, going 110% to try to win. I got you 5 sacks. So you could win the game and you still prefer to lose and prop up Dillon to make sure he's not dribbling on his chin. Like you cute little baby, want to make sure you don't look all cute. Why is propping up Dillon a priority? Why is holding back Shedeur Sanders the priority? Because we're constantly pushing Dillon up and propping Dillon up and giving him props for winning is one thing. But propping him up and assuring the media that Dillon is safe after they have fallen 2-6 and he's not that guy shows that you're not propping Dillon up. You making sure Shedeur stays stuck in the middle. You making sure Shedeur don't get out here and ball out and increase his trade value because it's documented. If Shedeur plays well in Cleveland, his trade value goes up. And Andrew Berry ought to be offended because what did Andrew Berry tell us? Day 3, post-draft press conference. We know Shedeur Sanders is going to outproduce his stock. But Kevin Stefanski and Haslam are making sure that that don't happen. Because why is it that Bailey Zapp was activated and little to no people knew? They didn't just make, Bailey Zapp is going to be activated. Because they activated Bailey Zapp on the same day that they brought in an undrafted free agent who used to play for Memphis. So they shopping for another quarterback while Kevin Stefanski is ensuring you that Dillon is safe. So whose job is at risk? It's not Bailey Zapp's. It's shout out to Huntley. They balling out, beat the Bears, who I know is 4-2 and could have went on to 5-3 and probably give Drake May a run for their money at some point. I get what's happening. Shout out to Huntley. I've said this before. Huntley should be playing. Just like Malik Willis should be playing. It's too many black quarterbacks paired up behind another black quarterback so that talent can be wasted. And Shedeur Sanders is in the same position that Huntley is in, except Huntley gets to play. Shedeur has to rock while Dillon gets to dribble wiped off of his chin because Stefanski feels it's more important to prop Dillon up and make sure he can still be available to play, not win, play. So there's no way in hell that Shedeur can get out here and increase his trade value. That's how they know Shedeur is good. They holding him hostage. They've decided he's not going to be traded because we're absolutely going to let him play 4 games no matter what. That's not for Shedeur's benefit. That's so they don't have an excuse to justify trading him because they know by the time the trade value come a week from Tuesday or Tuesday, they know that you're going to be pushing for Shedeur to be traded. So they got out in front the train and made everybody think, we're going to let Shedeur play. This is not a participation trophy league. You get to play, you get to play, you get to play, you get to play, you get to play. You're supposed to be strategizing to win. And the defense out here balling out for you while you propping up Dillon, who's not winning for you to prevent Shedeur to come out here and win for you. I tell you what, since y'all say we not Browns fans, I have an idea for Browns fans that want to hold the Browns accountable. The next time you go to the bank or you go to the little grocery store or you get your lawn care done or you have a beer with your buddy, I suggest you use your voice to call for those that invest in the Browns, that sponsor the Browns, to divest their interest in the Browns for unethical practices towards one quarterback named Shedeur Sanders. And if you're not comfortable with doing that, I got damn near 1,000 videos out here for you, pointing out the heinous treatment of Black quarterbacks by the Cleveland Browns before Shedeur arrived, including throwing Deshaun Watson under the bus when they knew he would never take another snap in the NFL because he was awarded $230 million after asking for a trade from Houston. And he lands in the one team that quarterbacks go to for their careers to die. Not a coincidence. You can hold all the damn power. And I'm not talking to the Browns fans that want to prop up Dillon too, because they don't want Shedeur to get out there because they grew up at a time or because their parents taught them that Black quarterbacks shouldn't be leading teams. I'm not talking to them. I'm talking to the ones that are frustrated, that want to know what they can do. The next time you spend $1, see who they associate with and do something about it. And for those of you talking about Jeremiah 29:11, Jeremiah 29:11 is not an excuse to look away at the inhumane treatment of Shedeur Sanders, who's been persistently discriminated against since the draft started to yesterday. That's for Shedeur to keep his head up and keep pushing. And if you can repeat it, you can also do something about it. Because I'm sure some of y'all have had a beer with your buddy or ran up to the bank. You have too much power to sit by and watch this foolishness happen and talk about it and don't do nothing about it. You have too much buying power to allow this to happen and to keep paying for it to happen. So do something about it. And next time you quote Jeremiah 29:11, that's the call for you to do something. It's not an excuse to be passive and watch another person suffer. So we're going to take a look at Myles Garrett because he has some things. He has some frustration to get off his chest. I can't blame him. Like I said last week, it was Justin Jefferson. I don't know who it's going to be next week. I don't know how Kevin Stefanski with a straight face can go out here and look his defense in the eyes, including the coordinator and the coaches and everybody else that gets it together to come out here and try to win. And they just choose to lose and prop up Dillon. You know what Kevin Stefanski's message is to the defense? Y'all don't matter. Y'all don't matter. It's more important for us to hold Shedeur back and lose than it is for us to respect y'all and your hard efforts and your contributions and the fans to win. See, the priority in Cleveland is not to win. I said they don't want to win this game. You knew they didn't want to win this game when they went out and got another undrafted free agent and activated Bailey Zapp when Shedeur was right there. You knew this. And Shedeur got to keep himself up over being rejected over and over and over while Kevin Stefanski takes pleasure in it. Fire Kevin Stefanski. And talk to the people that you down at the bank. Talk to the people where the grocery store where you buy the beers, or the people that come do the lawn. All of these people that support this interest of this team that want to leave town with a losing strategy. Stop spending the money and then sit back and watch it happen and being upset when it happened. You hold the power. And when people say we're not Browns fans, they don't want us to hold the Browns accountable because they like it just like it is. They didn't have a problem showing up in droves when Deshaun Watson went 0-15 at all. They have absolutely no problem with losing with Dillon as long as it's hurting a Black quarterback. So that message is for the ones that's sick and tired of being sick and tired and want to do something but couldn't think of an idea. So I just gave you one. So let's take a look at Myles Garrett because he's sick of it. And it was a shame that a media person or analyst or a podcaster put the caption out there under this video that Myles Garrett wants out of Cleveland. Myself and others said no. Myles Garrett wants accountability from the front office, in particular the head coach, Kevin Stefanski, who after this game, rather than thank the damn defense, decided to go out here and wipe the drool off of Dillon's chin. And Dillon himself ought to feel like some kind of pariah Because why are you propping me up when I'm not good enough to do this when Shedeur is right there? At some point, you're going to have to be realizing they using you to drive a wedge between the team. They don't even care about the defense. They obviously don't care about the fans. They just want the fans that's okay with losing to keep paying while they laugh all the way to the bank. And the bank laughing too. While Browns fans complain, since we're not Browns fans. That's why I don't watch their games. If you rather sit up and isolate people who are new to supporting the team and buying jerseys that clearly say Browns because you rather not have a win with a black quarterback, then the hell with you. That's what I say. You can keep Dillon, you can keep Stefanski, you can keep Haslam, you keep Barry, and y'all go back to irrelevancy. Y'all don't want to be great. You want to be evil in the dark. That's why you don't want 4 million fans looking at what's happening. You don't want to be held accountable because it feels good to go to the stadium and scream, they all suck. Because I heard it on the video last week. If you think they all suck, why you showed up? Because you take pleasure in looking at black men labor and say and talk down upon them. That's why. That's what half of their damn fan base is. People willing who feel some type of way about their own lives, willing to do what? Go pay good money because they feel like they can yell, cuss, and scream at some black men for their plight in life. Myles Garrett is a millionaire multiple times over. He's also human. And he's not saying he wanted out of Cleveland. He's saying he wants accountability. So this shows you the media is trying to duck, pushing for accountability because they also like what they see in Cleveland with Shedeur being held back. It makes them feel good to deny a black star quarterback the opportunity to ball out because hatred. That's all this is. That's all they paying for. Is an opportunity to feel justified to cuss and scream at some black men because they can't do it at their job. So this gives them license. They want you to be paid hundreds of millions of dollars so you can be okay with losing. But I guarantee you, if you come to work with a collective check mentality, you're going to be lazy. So this is do what I say. And he's human. And he's allowing himself to be human as he should. Because who the hell wants to go to work only to lose? Myles Garrett is obviously too talented to be associated with a team like this. Shedeur Sanders is way too talented to be held hostage by Kevin Stefanski, who wiping the drool off of Dillon's chin. To come out and say Dillon is safe is insane. Why? Why is he safe? And I thought to myself, he said the same thing before Flacco got traded. I'm not making any changes at quarterback, and Flacco got the hell on. Now, that's who wanted to get the hell on. But I never heard them say not one time when Flacco looked visibly frustrated that he was ready to get the hell out of Cleveland. In fact, they were shocked when he left, and I think he probably made that happen. And they try to devalue him with a 6th-round pick. So my question is, when I started the podcast, what do you think Dillon's trade value is with Stefanski propping him up? And that's who should be traded before the deadline, because that is the only person that is being forced to play, even though they're getting worse and worse and worse. DeShone Kizer. Except for it didn't go on for 15 weeks. But I noticed the University of Texas defeated Mississippi State in a thrilling overtime win. And Arch Manning is doing good enough that they could prop him up too. And if he want to wait until 2027, because he clearly has that right, they'll prop up Dillon for 2 more years. And I have no idea whose life they're willing to ruin with that 1st-round pick. But it wouldn't surprise me if they were black. just not a quarterback. Stefanski talking about there's going to be some changes, but he's not making changes at quarterback because Dillon is safe. He don't want to start with the man in the mirror. What you going to do, trade Myles Garrett? That's a blessing for him. Jerry Jeudy didn't even get no targets today. If he did, there were no receptions and no targets at all from what I could see. Not a surprise. And that's probably one of the changes they're talking about. See, they're already pushing Jerry Jeudy out the way because he expressed how he feels. Retaliation. Tony Brown showed concern for Shedeur. Retaliation. So the Browns not wanting to make change, what they holding on to? They're not holding on to a winning strategy. It is preposterous to ask 99% of a football team to be okay with losing because you want to hold back Shedeur Sanders, who you say you didn't want to draft, and you're going to use Dillon like a little prop to do it. I'm pretty sure that's unethical. I'm pretty sure this is a circus. And Stefanski's not even blind to it. He knows it. And for Haslam to come out and take the heat before the week ended last week by saying Stefanski's done good work for us. He must be talking about off the field work. They're 2-6. Stefanski was sub 500 before that. So what good work is Stefanski doing? Why isn't Stefanski willing to make any changes? What are the Browns really holding on to other than Shedeur and trying to smother his career by sticking him in the middle and making his life torturous and using Dillon to do it, even though Dillon looks bad. So now Dillon got to deal with all the hatred because he don't look good. So they willing to hurt Dillon. They willing to hurt Shedeur. They willing to hurt the whole damn defense in the sake of what? In the sake of what? Because it's not winning. So if you're not trying to win, what the hell are you holding on to? Kevin Stefanski and Haslam? That's your problem right there. It's not even a losing culture that they holding on to. The losing culture is a byproduct or whatever it is that they holding on to. And it starts with holding back Shedeur and not wanting to trade him. Nikki Sofit said it. She said the Browns are trying to run Shedeur off while holding him hostage at the same time. So next time you talk about Jeremiah 29:11, that's for Shedeur. And it's a reminder for you to go do something about the discrimination because that's what it is. Dillon is being used as a wedge to discriminate against Shedeur and ruin his career. And that's a horrible position to put Dillon in. And it's disgusting to do it to Shedeur. And it's evil to make the entire team watch and suffer while they tie Shedeur up to a tree and whip him in public with the whole damn plantation watching. Because that's what it is. They willing to hold on to plantation mentality with Stefanski as a damn overseer. Then to realize, oh, this is a football league and we're supposed to be playing competitive football and we're supposed to be trying to win. No, it's more important to play plantation and overseer and stick it to the black man. Blame the black guy. Dillon is a young rookie quarterback, but Shedeur isn't. So Dillon gets all of the consideration while Shedeur gets ignored. Dillon is a young rookie quarterback. Every time he says that, he's telling you he doesn't. He's done it before. And you're paying for it when you run down to that goddamn bank. You have a beer with your buddy, or you get your goddamn lawn done and you run down to that little ass grocery store in Cleveland. Yeah, my Myles Garrett, I'm frustrated. I'm not out here trying to discriminate against Shedeur. Don't put me into this. Don't use me and waste my damn talent because you want to be evil and hate on Shedeur because you don't want him to damn succeed. Because his last name is Sanders and you want the Manning name to be bigger. So you're willing to prop up Dillon till the Manning kid can get it together and show up. And you're going to prop him up too, which is why you propping up Dillon. Dillon being used all kind of ways. And they don't value him either. They don't give a damn about the harmful situation they put Dillon in. But they want to act like we like Dillon. No, they basically chase Dillon down and say, you come here and sit right here while I make his life hell. They can't even give him no credit because he's not good. He's getting paid what he's getting paid to be the wedge, to be the person that is used to hurt another individual. That's all it is. So yeah, Myles Garrett have every right to be frustrated. So does Jerry Jeudy. Let me see them retaliate against Myles Garrett. Since Stefanski talking about there's going to be a lot of change, but he won't start with himself and hasn't want to defend Stefanski. The Browns fans that the ones that have no problem with this. The ones that have a problem with what's going on in Cleveland, whether you understand it or not, you know it ain't right. You might can't put your finger on it. It's racism. And if you don't know what to do, I done gave you options. But what you better do is separate yourself from those that are partaking in the active discrimination against Shedeur Sanders by making it a priority to discriminate rather than a priority to compete and win football games. That's what you better do. So Myles Garrett is human. I don't have a problem with it. I guess we're going to stay tuned and see if they try to retaliate against him. I'd love to see it because they just paid him, I don't know, all this money. What they going to do? Kick him out the league? What they going to do? Void his guarantees? Okay, then he got a lawsuit. And the NFL, God knows, got enough scandals and lawsuits out there. But yet, they don't seem to be deterred from holding Shedeur hostage and trying to humiliate him in front of all of us, including that team, every single day, which means Shedeur Sanders is in a toxic environment. And all of the people around there, they're trying to force to play a part in the destruction of this young man's career and forcing them to watch. It's the draft all over again. Humiliation, and it's not a damn ritual. It's intended to destroy Shedeur, his consciousness, his mind. So when he does get out there, the last 4 games, he too and damn in shambles. And if he gets sacked excessively, it's on. It's on. From my mouth to God's ears, it's on. Because as you can see, Kevin Stefanski is going through the extremes, willing to sacrifice the whole damn season to hold back Shedeur. So how he going to act when Shedeur get in there to play? You can't trust that. You can't trust that at all. Why should anybody trust that he would treat Shedeur fairly when he has shown you that he has no intentions of it because he doesn't even acknowledge Shedeur? Just like that player, that black player told us his head coach don't talk to him. Kevin Stefanski doesn't even acknowledge Shedeur. Well, Dillon's a young quarterback, AKA I don't even see Shedeur. And you want fans to trust that that person, that servant leader of clearly not the Browns, into some type of philosophy, which doesn't think that black quarterbacks are worthy of leading teams, even though you know they can win. Because look at everything you're doing to make sure he don't get out there at all. Because you know what the result going to be. And you're so desperate to hold him back. You're willing to blow it all up. Expose yourself, your family, everybody, just to try to hold back a black man. You are not God, Kevin Stefanski. And God has the last say about Shedeur. And whether y'all think we Browns fans or not, you goddamn right we Shedeur Sanders fans. All 6 million of us. And accountability will be had. I don't have to be a Browns fan to hold you accountable. I just have to be human. So the Browns season won 2 games, lost 6. People now see that Miami donated the game. They done went in here and beat the Falcons. So the Falcons donated the game to Miami. I'm pretty sure Huntley was allowed to defeat the Bears because after trashing Caleb Williams since he got to the league, sacking him excessively last year, 70 times, he leading that team to 4-3. So they let Huntley, a backup, come in to defeat the Bears because they want to justify paying the Bears back up behind Caleb, a D3 athlete, $10 million. Caleb said, to hell with y'all. So he win it. Despite them trying to hold him back. Now, I don't know if Shedeur Sanders going to ever get that opportunity. But you see what Caleb Williams had to go through, and it's still going through. To start the season off, after you had that man sacked 70 times, you're going to run out here and pay a D3 athlete because he white $10 million to tell Caleb you on the clock. And the unexpected happens. The 70 sacks don't shake him. He found a way to win. See, you got to get over all of the efforts to humiliate you and physically harm you to get to a position where Caleb Williams is. And then they're going to send a quarterback that look like you, that they burying on the depth chart and refuse to give an opportunity to come beat you when you on the upswing and can win your division probably. Our ancestors and the people before us that lived through Tulsa knew why Tulsa was burned down to the ground. A lot of people died. You know what many of them did? One went on to become a millionaire in Memphis. He said, we just going to build our own since you want to exclude us. All I see across this league is exclusion, exclusion, exclusion. That's what's happening with Shedeur. He being excluded. He being disregarded. He being written off. The same thing did. They wrote me off. I didn't write back. He had a good season in Seattle. They booted him out. Exclusion. When they exclude you, go start your own. So if they exclude Shedeur right out this league, I would hope he and Shiloh would connect with Destroying. And they take what Destroying has already built and put it over the top. Start your own. For Justin Jefferson last week and Myles Garrett this week, for a league that wants to suppress players from telling the truth, I could see a league policy. Y'all can't express yourself rather than hold Stefanski and Haslam accountable. But that's up to the fans when it comes to Haslam. And if Haslam not going to hold Stefanski accountable, it's going to have to be the fans who are tired of being sick and tired, or the Shedeur Sanders fans. So if you're just not joining us, please hit the like button. Yes, please subscribe. But also, too, let me know what you think Shedeur Sanders' trade value is. And if you care to tell me what you think Dillon Gabriel's trade value is, feel free to let me know, right? The reason I'm asking about Shedeur Sanders' trade values because I read an article about Shedeur being stuck in limbo. I read an article talking about how Shedeur Sanders' trade value is essentially non-existent, and it's because there are too many quarterbacks on the team, and he's not a factor. He's not a consideration of being a quarterback that's valuable. So they're actively destroying Shedeur's trade value while he's sitting on the bench. If you're available to play and they don't want to use you, they're devaluing you. So Shedeur's in a tough spot. Jeremiah 29:11 is for him. You know about this because you're supposed to do something. All right, so let's talk about the games that I said were good. Saquon Barkley did exactly against the Giants. He did exactly what he did against the Commanders. They started the game and he took off running down the field, right? The Eagles, I'm going to support Jalen. I told you I support the teams. Support the players. Supported Jalen Hurts. I support all black quarterbacks that are being held back and set up to fail or overlooked or disregarded or paired up so that careers can die. I celebrate them for trying. But when God opened that door, do like your ancestors and probably your great-grandparents who were alive through in Tulsa and Seneca Village in Oscarville. Go start your own. All right. So I had the best games of the day was Fly, Eagles, Fly. They put the Giants in their place because there was no way the Eagles, who have the opportunity to go back to the Super Bowl, was going to allow the Giants to win. Shout out to hope get well soon to Cam Scatterboo. I think he's injured. And then the Ravens flying high with Huntley. They won versus the Bears 30-16. So the guys played some good football today. But I think about, they have their own reasons for why they keep going this route. And that's fine if you want to keep going this route. But what you need to do while you're going this route, or you waiting on God, start your own. Just start with 11-on-11 and stream it. I saw a video on YouTube. Somebody had 5 NFL players out there and a non-NFL player. And they were actually playing football under the guys like with masks on for you to try to figure out who the NFL players really were, who were the players and who were not the players. Start your own. I also watched Jackson State and Grambling State. And I'm glad I did that. Why? Because my beloved Colorado Buffs, Coach Prime, oh Lord, I've never seen Coach Prime team ever, from high school to Trinity all the way to now. I've never seen any team that Coach Prime have struggle like this. I think this got to be worse than year one. And we said year one was manufactured chaos, and year two feels like manufactured chaos. So, to the players, keep your head up, keep grinding. Because life is just like this. Once you finish college, you're going to be maybe in some difficult environment, and you're going to have to try to thrive in it. But the message is for Coach Prime. Dear Coach Prime, please fire your offensive coordinator and your defensive coordinator at the same time. Just call them on into the office or schedule a team meeting or do what you got to do. But neither one of them, your offensive coordinator or your defensive coordinator, neither one of them should be associated with the team next year. And if that is not up to you, if God opened the door, just know it's for your protection. Just know. All right. So that's the Colorado Buffs, because we were live for 3 to 4 hours. Not much to say after that. Feels like the season is a wash to me. I don't think it's because they have a young quarterback and they're restructuring. I don't think it has anything to do with the quarterback. I think it has everything to do with the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator, the schemes, the plays. And I felt like the announcers were trying to drive home the point that Pat Schumer is not a good offensive coordinator. At some point, they were celebrating Doc Livingston, but I don't know. When you the defensive coordinator and the team put up almost 500 yards on you, you're not good either. And I feel like Doc Livingston got paid for Travis's work, for Chidozi's work, and all the other guys off of defense, Cameron Silvercraig. I feel like Rob Livingston got paid for the efforts of the elite defenders from last year on Colorado's team. I don't know why anybody at CU decided to do that. But those players made the difference, because we talk about how Shedeur shines bright after every CU game that Pat Schumer gift wraps to the other team. If it wasn't for Shedeur out here calling his own plays, something the NFL seems to be trying to ruin his career behind, Colorado would have not had a winning season. So that was a gift to Coach Prime. So if they decide to pull together $47 million and buy out Coach Prime like they doing a lot of other black head coaches because they got black quarterbacks or because they black, go celebrate. Take your lady on a date and go celebrate. That's God looking out for you. So I'm getting ready to start answering some of y'all's questions. Before I do, fellas, I didn't forget about y'all. We got 15 on the front and ready right now on the back. In other words, go shop what's new and what she said sports, because I'm not out here playing. I'm not out here playing. Y'all know I have the Shedeur collection. So now I got 15 with ready right now. And I also dropped a unicorn. Y'all know why. Travis Hunter, number 12, the unicorn. And Auntie, you know, I showed y'all, I took care of y'all, but Auntie, I took care of y'all. Y'all can do his and hers if you want. So just know what she said sports is holding you down. What she said sports.com. Go run over there, see what's new. Use my code NOLA Girl at checkout because we got the exclusives. We have the exclusives, and go run and get it. And don't tell nobody, just go shop, because you know they're gonna try to, you know, copy us, right? You know, they're gonna try to copy, but because we got the exclusives, we got premium merch, exclusive designs, and we got all the vibes, and we got your new faves. So use my code NOLA Girl at checkout. And Auntie, I don't want to hear no excuses. I should be seeing these Auntie hoodies. Fellas, ready right now. Y'all see what to do. You know what to do. And Auntie, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear no excuses, no excuses, no excuses. Y'all call me Auntie. You keep calling me Auntie. Go grab this hoodie. Use the code NOLA Girl at checkout. All right, so let me get over here to the comments and see what y'all are saying. I asked 2 questions. The questions were, what do you believe Shedeur's trade value is? And I told you why I asked the question, because they're trying to smother, suffocate, and hold back his trade value. So when they do trade him, they expect him to be QB3 or less. And the only way for that to happen is for the last 4 games they insist he has to play, because you get to play, and the Browns are not trying to win. It seems that they already have a plan to set him up to look inferior in these games. We shall see. Stay tuned for that. Because there's no point in holding him back and putting him out here to shine the last 4 games. That don't make no sense. Right? Because you could trade him before the deadline if you don't want him. You only let him play the last 4 games so you can justify not trading him at the deadline, because what the Haslam say? No, we haven't seen enough from Dillon yet. You saw enough from Dillon in training camp. You just need an excuse not to play Shedeur until after the trade deadline, because your plan is to make him look inferior so you can ship him out to another team and start the clock over at QB3 or QB2 until he break or quit, or his faith is so strong in God that y'all can't break him. I'm gonna go with the latter. All right, so let's see who in here. Is that correct? That's the strategy this year. The GM and the coach have been cleared. Yeah, that's the strategy. And this is what the Browns fans are paying for. You know, this is what the Browns fans are paying for. No sane person runs out here to pay and to watch somebody lose. You're not going to the game for the competition. And that's why the teams think it's okay to just be pure entertainment. It's just pure entertainment. The Browns season is just for your entertainment entertainment purposes only, and you're not even being entertained. You have to be frustrated unless you just numb, but you're gonna run out there and pay for it. That's just a waste. So, yep, that's facts. It said, hey, sis, pull up Shedeur's quote about picking him and changing the organization. That's the talk of a leader. Dillon doesn't sound like a leader. He sounds unsure of himself. That's because Dillon was actually drafted because they knew he was unsure of himself. They knew that they could overpay him to submit to being used to hold back Shedeur. And he fell for it. And I talked about this previously. And, somebody came to me and say, hey, Dillon is a man of faith. I hadn't seen that yet. I haven't seen the way Dillon treated Shedeur initially. I didn't see a man of faith. I can believe his family may have talked to him and say, look, they just trying to use you because they making Dillon look bad. That's why I'm asking y'all, what do you think Dillon's trade value is? And I'm asking you, what do you think Shedeur's trade value is? The only person propped up to be traded right now is Dillon. That is the only justification for having Dillon out here with drool on his chin, and you allow it to happen because you're going to trade him. Because why else did you go and get Bailey Zapp off the goddamn practice squad if it wasn't to hurt Shedeur and say it doesn't matter what you do? Why would you go get another undrafted free agent? Got Dillon as an undrafted free agent that you decided to donate $9 million to because he's not going to never get it? They don't like him either. Dillon is keeping Archman's seat warm. Dillon is not white. He's keeping whatever their preference is for quarterback seat warm. And it's up to Dillon to stop playing the game and being big-headed and thinking that you better than Shedeur when you know you not, when they using you and making you look like the fool. Shedeur is actually in a better position than Dillon. It's obvious that Dillon is not a backup in this league. I also know what Shedeur is. And I know Haslam is making excuses for Stefanski because all of the heat is coming towards Stefanski. So he think he going to get out here with his big britches. So next time y'all run down there to that bank, y'all better have something to say about where they need to divest from and put their interests instead of propping up discrimination against a black quarterback and using a non-black quarterback and pitting them against each other to keep the seat warm for a white one rather than out here be trying to win and build a competitive team. They using a damn team for the wrong purposes. You're supposed to be out here building competitive teams. You out here trying to use the team and all of its riches to hold back black people. Well, good luck with that shit. Because they ain't even want us to learn how to read. And black women are the most educated demographic out here. Black women hold 71% of advanced degrees. So good luck with that shit. Hey, Tina, how you doing? How you doing? Did anybody watch the game? No, I didn't watch it. I didn't even watch the highlights. I did watch everybody else's highlights. It said, good evening, family, peace and blessings. Facts. It said a pitiful weekend. Now, I had a good weekend, but it was a pitiful weekend I feel sorry for the 99% of the people who associated with the Browns organization that's not cool with watching Shedeur be humiliated, watching the season go to hell, while they prop up Dillon, who they know for a fact is not good, while they make excuses for Stefanski and Haslam runs out to cover him while he plays in their face. That's who I feel sorry for. Shedeur and them people. If you take part of this, I don't feel sorry for you. You don't get what's coming to you. It said Tua lost on purpose last week. I told y'all Miami donated that game to the Browns so they could get the heat off of Stefanski. And then when the heat was on Stefanski, who stepped in to take the heat off of Stefanski? Haslam, by saying what? Dillon is a young quarterback, but Shedeur not. So no regard for Shedeur at all, as a human being at all. It tells you that Haslam is in on it. If he gonna come out here and support Stefanski talking about he's done good work for us. Where? Off the field, at your house? Is he building you a shed out in the back? Because it's clearly not. How can you say he's doing good work when he's a sub 500? That's who y'all need to get rid of. So next time you go down there to the bank and you have a beer with your buddy, or you get your damn lawn done, or you run down to that little grocery store, then you know what to do. Because it rests on y'all. It said the Pittsburgh-Green Bay game was good. Is it over with? I don't think they know. It said they don't play like winners. Nothing about them screams winning to me. Hell, the damn Giants, the defense was trying it. The defense is definitely trying it. That's why Miles Garrett was so frustrated. That's why I shared that video. A lot of us don't even give them any amount of our time, nor should we. So when I saw the clip come past me, I'm like, yeah, because why? Justin Jefferson was last week, and they gifted Daniel Jones to Indianapolis when they had him right there in Minnesota. But it was more important for Daniel Jones to push Anthony Richardson out the way. 17-32. That's why it's so important for Shedeur to suffocate on the bench. What's wrong? You're going to have to do that eventually anyway. It said, nope, you didn't miss a thing. Dillon wasn't competitive, and he definitely wasn't entertaining. Right. And what's the consequence for the defense to going out here and throwing the game? What's the consequence for the defense out here playing lackluster and not trying? It's so many different games I can look at today, and I can see. I'm like, oh, they wasn't even trying. We talked about that with Colorado. We called out some people. They weren't even trying. What's the consequence for chaos? A meltdown. Buckle up. Do you honestly believe they're finna play Shedeur? I don't know. I mean, hell, if he's still on the damn team, you have to play him before the season ends. From my understanding, that he has to be able to show what he could do, or it's considered negligence. The Browns have been negligent for so long. They know exactly what to do to not cross that line. People think Shedeur is going to be traded. He should be, because they clearly don't want to use him. Haslam clearly supports Stefanski, who's sub 500, which means the Browns ought to ask before they buy another goddamn set of season tickets. What the hell are we doing? Y'all have got to go find something else to do. Go fishing. There's some wonderful fishing videos out here. I belong outdoors. Go watch his channel. He'll make you want to run down to Bass Pro Shops, get a goddamn boat, go out fishing off an oil rig, and think you could do this shit. At least just go do something else instead of supporting the humiliation and the destruction of Shedeur Sanders' career. I don't care if you think it's because he's black or if you think that they just crazy. It don't matter. It's wrong. And stop paying for it. They can't do it without you. Stefanski not coming off of playing Dillon. It said he's betrayed the players on that team and robbing them of their due right as being great in a professional league. Right. And I wonder, would they go and tell the players that they prefer to be around? What they do? Give them an extra $100,000 in their contract, slide them some incentives so they can shut up and be okay with it. For the white players that's on this team, y'all see what's happening. Don't just stand there while Miles Garrett is out there being blamed because he want to leave, and y'all are okay with it. That's the problem. When Kirk Cousins said they lied to him, he was right. They wanted Kirk Cousins to come to Atlanta to take Michael Penix Jr. job, and what the hell happened today? Michael Penix Jr. was injured, just in case you don't know. Kirk Cousins got out there. There should be no more conversation going forward about Kirk Cousins taking over this team. This is Michael Penix Jr.'s team. That is apparent. So Shedeur has to get to a place where Michael Penix Jr. is, because they did the same thing to him. I went to one game so I could see Michael Penix Jr. And they're like, nah, we gonna play Kirk Cousins. There was absolutely no reason for that. Michael Penix balled out in his rookie training camp, just like Shedeur. So Shedeur got to hold on. Jeremiah 29:11 is for Shedeur. It's for you to go do something. Start with the bank. It said, yeah, I hated the commenters were like, I don't know why Garrett is mad. He had an astounding game. He lost period. Right, because why? The media isn't in on it. The media is the one who started the damn defamation campaign against Shedeur. The Sanders family ought to just round them all up and just sue them all one by one. Every last one of them. That's why the media is exactly who it is, so they can keep this narrative going. The difference is social media got something to say. One of these so-called media people put out a fake story about Sarkisian supposedly going to telling his, while he out here trying to beat Mississippi State, he want to leave UT and go coach for the Texans or somewhere in the NFL. I was like, okay, I like it, but it ain't gonna happen. It wasn't even true. So they mad with Quinn Ewers because Sarkisian would bitch him for Arch Manning. Now they mad with Sarkisian because Arch Manning finally starting to look like he might be all right eventually next year, year after next. So let's get rid of Sarkisian. He there till 2031. I'm sure if somebody buy him out, he'll have somewhere else to go. So whatever. See, sometimes getting fired is a blessing. So that's why I said if they decide they think they're going to humiliate Coach Prime by coming out there on the field because people have pointed out they don't see Rick George hanging around no more. He trying to distance himself. Don't know if that's the case, but that's what somebody said in the comments. If that is the case, if that is what they decide to do, Coach Prime, when God delays or redirects, as you know, it's for your good and God's glory. Take your lady out to dinner with your millions and keep it pushing and go start your own. Because the Sanders got everything to either pick up where destroying has left off or to join forces. And there ain't nothing they can do about it. I can't believe how mediocre the NFL seems. Oh, I said that. I said it was going to just be mediocre all over the place because it's about 17-32. What's happening to Shedeur has already happened to others. What's happening to Shedeur is also happening to other Black quarterbacks, and it's manifesting itself differently, but it's the same goal. It's also why Chicago lost to the Ravens with Huntley because they're not going to never give Huntley a chance. Huntley could have balled out for Cleveland on the practice squad, but they had to go get Bailey Zapp because he's white. They could have got any undrafted free agent at quarterback. You see, they brought in Brendan Wright, who's Black. Is he going to get an opportunity? Did they sign him? Or they just playing in his face again? Yes, it's mediocre because they're not trying to win because suddenly we don't want Black talent no more. I'd rather give this white quarterback who's underperforming. They got good white quarterbacks out there. Quinn Ewers could get out there and ball out. Did he not take UT to the playoffs? Why he can't play? Because they mad? Because Sarkisian didn't bench him at UT? You see how collusion works? But see, they're not discriminating against him. They colluding against him. But it ain't not treating him like Jimmy the Crow is. You see? There's the difference. So when people say, oh, they did the same thing to Quinn Ewers. No, they didn't. They're colluding against both of them. They're trying to hold back both of them. But Quinn Ewers could go on to be Brock Purdy. Shedeur could go on to be Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Google it. It said none of the Brown players will receive incentive. Shit. I ain't convinced. I think half of them going to receive a bonus for shutting up. That's what for. Yeah, I think that because it's happening all over the league. It's happening all over the league. How is it you can only get Black quarterbacks to be sacked by the right tackle? And the right tackle got to be Black. What? That's the case. It's something. It's something. So there's some kind of incentives. Just like Stefanski is doing a good job for them. I wonder how much he getting paid to lose. Remember, Miami was accused of it by a Black head coach, and so was the Cleveland Browns accused of incentivizing Black head coaches to lose. So how much they paying and incentivizing Stefanski to hold back Shedeur? Somebody need to look into that. Brian Flores' lawsuit need to make one more step in the courts, and it needs to involve sharing discovery. And it might have already happened. We just not gonna know about it. You got to go look for it. Dillon yelled at Judy. I don't know what the hell he yelling at Jerry Judy for. He had all goddamn summer to be out here connecting with Jerry Judy. When you saw Jerry Judy sharing a locker with Flacco, Dillon should have been over there trying to be friends with Jerry Judy because that must be the guy. But no, you thought Flacco was going to do the work. And this is exactly what I mean by he in the situation he in because he think he better. He think he's Stefanski's boy, so he can run around here like a teacher's pet and act like Stefanski. All right. You let them players get wind of that. That's all it is. They just not gonna want to hang out with you. They not gonna want to wish you happy birthday. They not gonna give a damn about you. They just gonna move on. They ain't gonna be rude to you. They just not gonna jail with you like that. So if you want to alienate your team, like they say Tua over there doing in Miami, then you do that. Then when you need somebody to throw to, you better hope that chemistry is there. Stefanski at home laughing with his wife. That man is evil. She probably pissed at him. Because she got to go out here to the hair salon. And I know that people got something to say. See, people think it's all... See, he even put his family in a bad situation. Why? Because Cleveland don't appear to be that big of a place to me, right? And with it being 42% black, it can't be easy out here. I don't know what she do, but the point is you got to go outside. You got to go outside. And people are aware that your husband is intentionally destroying this promising quarterback's career while the team loses, regardless of the reason why. But when you throw some racism in there, that ain't no easy position for her to be in. She probably got an alias when she go get her hair done or her face done. Dillon has all first team reps and looked like this. Right. Dillon looked like this before training camp, and he's not getting any better. He's not getting any better. They can't use the no picks excuse anymore. What you mean the no picks? Here's the thing. Cleveland actually has they have 2 first-round picks next year. They're not taking. They're not taking. They feel like they're participating in a league-wide activity with trying to devalue 17 black starting quarterbacks, because it seems like to me that all of this effort, starting with what you see with Shedeur in the draft, spilled over from what you saw happening to Lamar Jackson in the draft, is about holding back or giving the impression that all these years and decades, 9 decades, we have said black men can't be quarterbacks because they lack the mental capacity. And here it is. The smallest group of quarterbacks, the smallest group in this big group, this many black quarterbacks have emerged as starters of half of NFL teams. And it's like the NFL is like, we can't do this. We can't do this. We wanted y'all talent, but we don't want it no more. If Shedeur was talentless, he'd be out there. They know Shedeur can take this league to the next level. They don't want to get to the next level with him. They want to get to the next level with the Manning kid. That's why Quinn Ewers was over there on the bench and they lying on Steve Sarkisian. That's called get back and retaliation. And we're going to ruin you because you didn't bench Manning like we told you to last year, even though he sucked at the beginning of this year. And that kid actually could be good next year. But you didn't do what we wanted you to do when we wanted you to do it. So we going to show you who's boss. I can't wait till they find out boss is God. Maybe that's their code name for it. But God is the boss. Shedeur was right with what he said. Justin Fields was right for standing in his faith. Yes, he went out there and won. And it felt good to him. How many times do you hear him talk about that young kid was sacked 150 times in his short career and how negligent that is, starting with the Chicago Bears? I saw Aaron Glenn celebrating. He should, because they trying to set him up too. They said before he even came in, he got 2 years to get it together. But Daniel Jones had 6 years, which is twice the length of the average NFL career to get it together. And now we're going to have to sit up here and hear about how Drake May's a star, even though he got sacked 5 times by Myles Garrett. But Myles Garrett is the one, he want to leave. He the problem. Go start your own. I had such a joy watching Jackson State versus Grambling. You know why? Because they were just out there playing football. They weren't trying to duck and dodge Overseer Stefanski or Master Haslam or none of that. They was just out there playing football, and they was playing football. Jackson State lost their quarterback in the first quarter, and dude is a dog. They second string quarterback got in there. And they third string quarterback, number 11. I was like, Coach Prime need to get him. Just in case people move around. He's a dog. He's a dog. So Grambling came back to win at the last minute because I just knew. I had actually said, all right, it's a wrap. Jackson State gonna win with their backup. Grambling came back and did that. It's so freeing and such joy to watch 2 teams play football and not plantation. That's why I tell y'all, see, I follow other sports. I've been watching fishing. I belong outdoors. Please go watch it and come back and tell me how much you enjoyed it. Dude is out here sport fishing, fighting with fish to keep them on the reel. When he take his Sea-Doo from Florida to Bimini in the middle and he catch a rig, and he catching all these huge snappers, and I'm learning the names of fish groupers and this, that, and the other. It's so freeing to enjoy sport without the racism. He's a black fisherman, and people love his channel from all walks of life, colors, and creed, because they recognize how talented he is. This man, I said it, if Bass, what is it, Pro Bass Shops, I said they would make a killing by sponsoring him. Somebody just got him as a sponsor. He makes shit look so easy. I'm like, I need Travis to go out here with him. I'm like, Travis, if you ever see this, anybody that know Travis, tell Travis to go connect with I Belong Outdoors on YouTube. And the two of them go fishing because somebody reached out to him and they went fishing in Lafourche, Louisiana. No matter where this man goes, he come back with fish that look like this. And I know that can't be easy. People have asked, bro, how do you know where to go fish at to get fish like this? Beautiful mango snapper, stuff that I didn't even know existed. Then afterwards, he go cook it. And he show you how to cut it up and all of this. This man went from Miami, Florida to Bimini on a Sea-Doo jet ski. This man fishes off of a Sea-Doo. And he out here pivoting and turning and fighting with this. I'm like, man, how the hell is you just not in the ocean at the bottom by now? Then they went lobstering. This was such a joy to watch. Hell, God love me too. He's not going to let my mind be wrecked by the Browns. But I have no intentions on walking away from Shedeur, which is what they expect you to do. They think we don't stick together. So they want to act like they don't see Miles being frustrated, or when they do, he's the problem. So if you don't participate in the destruction of Shedeur's career, you're a problem. When somebody said the NFL needs an iOS update, I know exactly what they meant. But I think they need a damn BlackBerry update. I Belong Outdoors. Go watch it. Tell me if I'm wrong. And Travis, please link up with that man. And he got him a boat and everything, and it say I Belong Outdoors on the boat. But he preferred to fish off that damn jet ski, that Sea-Doo. I'm like, is this a boat? What is happening? I'm like, I gotta put this link out here for people to see it. I Belong Outdoors. It's simple. His name is Emmanuel. He starts off the show by telling you this. Y'all would love it. You need a break. Just like Shedeur needs a break. Thankfully, they got a bye week. So take the bye week. I Belong Outdoors. If you just like boating without the fishing, 305 living. 305 Miami living or something like that. Believe me, you're going to find it. This man was told about an island in the middle of nowhere. He said he wasn't going to tell us where it was because the person that told him about it promised. When I tell you it's just in the middle, it's just this big sandbar has formed up and created an island just out of the ocean, and nobody knows where it is. And you could just go out there with your boat and you could anchor and you could just be out there by yourself. It's just beautiful. It's peaceful. It's fun. It cleanses your soul and your mind from the rot that is festering in Cleveland. No sane person should be in tune with that type of destruction. It said Dillon does not have a trade value. It said because no one is calling for him. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who get traded. And I think it is quite interesting that the man in the mirror, goddammit, Stefanski, who needs to be the man in the mirror, talking about, oh, there's going to be a lot of changes, but Dillon is safe. I'm like, one of the changes should be you. One of the changes should be you. And I'm sure if people go up there to the bank, like I said, or have a bill with their buddy and do something about it, it will happen. Because they cannot discriminate against Shedeur like this without your money or your time watching that circus, which is meant to destroy. So it's like a horror film. It said Dillon Gabriel trade value is a 7th round pick. Shedeur Sanders trade value is unknown because the league is tripping. I don't agree with that. That's really what it is. And just like I said that the game with the Patriots is pivotal. It was. It told you what you needed to know. You see what came of it, right? They're okay with losing. So now they're going on the bye week, which is good because the world need a break from that. And when they come back, they know they could beat the Jets. So they're going to prop Dillon up to look good. That's why I was like, Stefanski out here, oh, I'm not making any changes. Dillon's safe. I'm not making any changes at quarterback. I'm like, you said that about Flacco, but okay. And Dillon is safe because they know that he could beat the Jets. So they think, I hope Justin Fields come in now. That's who we'll be rooting for. Not sure if I'm watching. I don't think I'm going to watch that, though. I'm going to just have to cheer for Justin Fields like I do right now at a distance. Not giving him my time. It's not worth it. So it should be worth it for people to keep being out here paying all this money for that. It's not worth it. It's not even good entertainment. And it's definitely not competitive. Right. It's embarrassing watching Dillon. Right. I'm like, nobody thinks that this is a good thing. But you know, when you choose to participate in the destruction of another person, whether it's because you were active or indirectly, you are still responsible. You see that with these trials on TV every day. You may have not pulled the trigger, but you were a willing participant in the destruction of another human being. Hey, Val, how you doing? It said put 12 in or else. Yeah, you want that, but I don't know what that's going to look like. So that's the next set of games that are pivotal. The Jets game, they think they could beat that or buy it. They either going to beat the Jets or because they think the Jets aren't good or they going to buy their way and the Jets going to donate the game. Now you see when I said that Miami donated that game. You see it? You see it? Same thing. They're going to either try to force that to happen against the Jets so Dillon can look good. But the next set of games that matter are the ones that Shedeur play in. I don't care about no other game. And I'm not looking to see who wins or loses. I believe it's going to be rigged, number one. And two, I do believe that Shedeur will be set up to fail like the Rams game. It's the Stefanski just going to pull that script. Now, who it is they're going to get to buy to set Shedeur up this time? Because the trade deadline will have come and gone. They're going to have to recruit some players on to set up Shedeur. And I know a few of them that they're going to go to first. Going to be black because they don't want to put no white players in that situation if they get caught. So the people who have voices need to use it to make sure they know we watch it to see if you set Shedeur up to fail. We know he's a first round QB. We know he's ready. And we know you're trying to destroy him as a person and his career. And we're not here for it. It's that for one, Shedeur has barely shown what he could do. Here's the thing, right? I don't understand when people say Shedeur hasn't shown what he could do. What the hell is all of this scouting for? So we just need to cut the scouting out. If Dillon needs to play half the season game to show us that he's bad before we could believe it, before they could believe it, what was training camp for? What was rookie mini camp for? What was the combine for? What the hell was his 6 years of football for? So when it's somebody that they want to prop up, no other stats or performance matters. Isn't that how you determine who the hell gets drafted first? So when you're willing to throw out the window experience and stats, you're setting your fans up to be happy with if Arch Manning and them fall out of the top 25. You're setting your fans up for the next draft to be, oh, that's my nephew. That's my cousin. That means none of these players, these black players' talent will matter. And that's what they're trying to move away from. The talent, the draft is supposed to be driven on talent. They said Shedeur wanted to be drafted as high as possible. Shedeur was expecting to be drafted where his talent landed him at the top. Because now they want to switch. I want to go with Dillon because that's who I want to go with. So we're going to give him more time. But Justin Fields got to hurry up and get the hell on. Caleb Williams got to get the hell on. Daniel Jones gets 6 years. And he can leave a team that needs him and go push a black quarterback out his spot. But Anthony Richardson is trash. But Daniel Jones had 6 years to get it right. The average NFL career is 3 years. So he got twice the average career. And you don't hear nobody holding his former coaches in New York accountable. Or is that Pat Shurmur? Which, again, Coach Prime, same day. I mean, it just looked like the NFL trade Coach Prime in the draft. And I don't even think I can say, ironically, the same NFL is betraying Coach Prime at Boulder. Amen. It says Stefanski is embarrassing Dillon. Like I said multiple times, you have to figure out who they playing with, and it's both. That's the answer, both. That's right. We are Shedeur, is no doubt at all. No doubt about it. Please speak on how 16 to 32 performed this weekend. Actually, when we get to week 9, I'm going to do an update on the chart that's out there because I have to go through each quarterback and put their standing. And I figured since week 9, I think, is the halfway point, I have decided that at week 9, I'm going to do a show for us to check in on the progress, like a progress report for the 16 of 32 black quarterbacks. But just from a quick glance, I can already tell you by looking at the standings. I think I told you last week, only Jalen Hurts and Jordan Love were up and everybody else was down, trying to say that they're talentless. So when they go to the draft next year, I don't need to get no black quarterbacks because they're not good anyway. I can get a few just so y'all don't think I'm racist. That's the part. That's the part that gets me. They drafted Cam, so you wouldn't say they were racist when they did draft Shedeur, which is why they blame Shedeur, right? But the crazy is, look at how bold they being in Cleveland, and I don't think they care whether you say they racist or not because of the climate in Cleveland. Remember, Cleveland used to be a sundown town, and their fan base is split. They have fans that don't care for this, and then they have fans that are just fine with it. They know that the Browns have never drafted a black quarterback in the first round, and Shedeur was supposed to be the first one, and now they acting like he's not good. Okay. So just from looking around last week, let me see. Only, I think, what's his name? Jalen Hurts and Jordan Love. Who won the game out of Green Bay in Pittsburgh? So I said I would do it at the halfway mark. But thank you for the suggestion. I'm already on it. So right now, I'll share this on my screen. So right now, you can see. All right, so make sure y'all can see this. All right, you should be able to see my screen. I'm over here to the side, to the bottom. All right, let's see. Okay, so this is the AFL, the American Conference. So the AFC East, the Patriots 6-2, followed by the Bills. So my prediction is that these two gonna land in a position where they gotta fight for who's winning the division, and that's intentional. Where you have Tua and Justin Fields down here at the bottom. That's one, right? Then you have and that's why I said the Browns did not want to win this game anyway. Then you have the AFC North. You got the Steelers, the 4-2 over the Bengals. Now, so that's Flacco and Aaron Rodgers. While you have Lamar Jackson or Huntley down here with Dillon. Both of these teams are being suppressed. So the Steelers can make it to the top. The Colts. All right. So you got the Colts and the Jaguars. I'm thinking that the Jaguars maybe had a bye week this week. Yeah. And the Colts are 7-1. They marvel at how good Daniel Jones is, like he was a rookie. And they never talk about how he had 6 years to get it right. And they never talk about holding his former coaches accountable. And I think one of them is over there at Colorado, which should basically explain everything. And I don't know if the current coaching staff was there when, I think he was just moved out of there. So they should be holding that ball accountable, right? You don't hear that. You don't hear that at all. They don't even want to talk about if the coaching was the problem with the Giants. They just want to move on from that situation like it never happened. And Daniel Jones just came out of college this year. But Justin Fields got to hurry up and get the hell on. And then they paid Caleb Williams back up $10 million, and he a D3 athlete. So you got CJ Stroud and Cam Ward down here at the bottom. And the Jaguars do not want to get better, outproduce the Patriots. That's not even a plan because they got Travis and don't let him play at pivotal moments like he should be, because they have decided when they moved Daniel Jones out of Minnesota and moved to the Colts and put him in front of Anthony Richardson. I don't know if they knew if he was going to do well or not, but understand, when Anthony Richardson was QB1, he had a QB2, a QB3, and possibly a QB4. Where are they? That you had to go get Daniel Jones and Minnesota is struggling. That was intentional, 17-32. To prevent that, to push them numbers far back away from 17 as possible, because I do believe with Spencer Rattler becoming QB1, if Anthony Richardson was still QB1, Spencer Rattler became Shedeur because they pushed Shedeur down in the draft, but Spencer Rattler popped up in the season because Tyler Shaw was a wasted draft pick. 17-32. All right, so it's not a coincidence that CJ Stroud's season is where it is, and the Titans, not a problem. The Jaguars seemingly can't get it together, or so it seems, but this is so the Colts can come out. Then you'd have the Broncos and the Chargers with Pat Mahomes at the bottom and the Raiders. They held Pat back down so he wouldn't be at the top. You can see the frustration on his face. And now you have Bo Nix and Sean Payton up here at the top, or Justin Herbert. They want these two to be just like the other two so they can have a divisional with two white quarterbacks, while the black quarterbacks are at the bottom, which sells the story that they not better. They not better. They not, even though they already half of the league when it comes to who the starters are. They're just manipulating who the starters are so it doesn't materialize before your eyes every week. When I watched Caleb versus Huntley, that game has a different vibe when it's, say, somebody else versus somebody else. It has a different vibe. That's what they don't want. They don't want to see Jalen Hurts versus, I don't know, whoever in his division. What's his name? Washington? Jada Daniels. They don't want that every week. I said that before the season started, and you see the manipulation that's occurring. They don't want Shedeur to get in there because why? Then you don't think Shedeur could be Huntley? Maybe. I think so. I would like to see it. I would like to see it. Shedeur against Lamar would be the talk of the town. They don't want that. They don't want that. Shedeur against Burrow. Shedeur against Flacco. Talk of the town. I want y'all to talk about Jackson Dart. I don't want you to talk about Shedeur. Browns versus Aaron Rodgers. I would love to see it with Shedeur. Now, Shedeur is supposed to play the last 4 games. We're going to look at that schedule in a minute. All right, so that's the AFC West. All right, let's go over here. So all of our guys are at the bottom. That's the point I'm making. The Eagles. All right, so Jalen Hurts. They keep trying, but I think they didn't finally decide, you know what, let's just leave Jalen alone, right? Because they went and got a player that retired to come back onto the defense. The Eagles not playing. They like, look, I see what y'all trying to do, but we out here trying to get back to the Super Bowl. So the Eagles and the Cowboys, I would say they would want Dak versus Jalen, but no, they don't. No, they don't. Dak over here with 3. Kids over here, they ain't going nowhere. And the Giants. They really thought that they were going to get a New York Giants defeating the Eagles. Because remember, the first time they played this season, the Eagles lost. I told y'all that was rigged. If you saw today's game, it was rigged. It was rigged. So the Eagles coming out. I mean, the Eagles coming out of the NFC East because, I mean, who else is close, right? And then over here with the Packers. Okay, so the Packers and the Steelers played today. But as you can see, Jordan Love is 4-1. Now, remember, when the season started, they said the Packers was winning a Super Bowl. And I said, and how you know that? How you know that? Over the determination, the will, and the fortitude of Jalen Hurts. So, obviously, the Packers or Jordan Love would have to play, I guess, Jalen Hurts. They can't play each other in the Super Bowl. It'd have to be that championship game, the AFC championship game. So let's move on. So those two are the only 2 up, right? Let's see who else is up. The Buccaneers. All right. The other quarterbacks in this league, all 3 of them black. The Panthers can't get it together. The Falcons, not a threat. And the Saints, no explanation needed. So Baker Mayfield, right? And then the Seahawks. All right. Jalen Milroe is unfortunately buried at QB3, so not a threat from him. So you have Sam Darnold, who was just in Minnesota after Geno Smith had a damn good year, but suddenly in the Raiders, he's trash. That was intentional to boot him out, to move him to Vegas so they could justify not needing to draft Shedeur. That's all they did, was spend their time strategizing so they can have an excuse as to why everybody passed on Shedeur, which is collusion, when he's the best quarterback. And they're going to try to do the same thing when it's time for him to be traded after they try to manipulate his draft stock, which is why I asked you, what do you think his draft stock is? So you have the Seahawks and the Rams. So that is Matt Stafford and Sam Darnold, while Brock Purdy or Matt Jones is down here at the bottom, while Kyler Murray and Jacoby Brissett go back and forth over who's going to be QB1. They got them two fighting on the same team because they paired up. So, as you can see, all of our guys at the bottom, with the exception of Jordan Love and Jalen Hurts. So, out of the Eagles, the Packers, the Buccaneers, and the Seahawks, who y'all think coming out of this division over here, this conference? Who y'all think coming out of the NFC? Then over here, Drake May, Aaron Rodgers, Daniel Jones, and Bo Nix. Let's just take the ones at the top. Who you think coming out over here? The point is, the odds over in the AFC is that the quarterback is white. That's the odds. Because the top two teams have white quarterbacks, while the other teams over here being set up, sabotaged, and everything, so they can look like, oh, they're not really that good. So their talent don't matter when the draft, because, you know, what did Haslam say? We took a big swing and missed with Deshaun Watson. No, they did not. At all. So over here, you know who it is. So it's the 50-50 chance that the quarterback over here is black, but it's also a 50-50 chance. Actually, it's not. It's a 25% chance because the Lions have Jared Goff. It's the 25 to maybe 45% chance that the quarterback is black. But from where I sit right now, the strongest quarterback is Jalen and Mayfield. So right now it would be the Eagles and the Bucks, I would say. I would say the Eagles and the Bucks will have to fight for it. So the goal is to not have two black quarterbacks like you've had twice in the last 5 years in the Super Bowl. The goal is to make sure that what almost happened with Lamar last year and Jalen Daniels and company, I guess Jalen Hurts and whoever else it was, to make sure there's not 4 black quarterbacks coming out in these championship games. Because that's what's almost happened last year until Andrews dropped the ball. And I saw him drop the ball today. I was like, but yeah, again, he can still keep his job. So the goal is to make sure there's not 4. 2 black quarterbacks in AFC, 2 black quarterbacks in NFC coming out. So our guys are at the bottom. So we said we'll do a report on week 9 to see if anything about it. And they trying their hardest to make time go by so fast so they can get to the 2026 draft and all the quarterbacks coming out in the first round. If it's one, how many was it last year? Cam was the only one. For the last few years, it's been 3. It was supposed to be 3. It was supposed to be, as black quarterbacks are concerned, it was supposed to be Shedeur and Cam, with Miro falling to the Saints. No, falling to 21 to Pittsburgh. But they stopped 2 of them and only let 1 go. And look at how Cam is being treated. Cam is the most sacked quarterback so far this year, just like Caleb was last year. So how long before they pay Cam Ward's backup $10 million like they paid Caleb Williams? Caleb Williams just got drafted. Anthony Richardson just got drafted. Daniel Jones has been around for 6 years. And they're not holding his coaching accountable, if that was the problem. Or they're not willing to admit he needed 6 years to get to this point. And I don't have time to watch their games to see if he's being propped up. I really don't. So I'm all in on the Browns, and I got time to watch other stuff. But see what's going on. So that's it. That's the status of the 16-32. They all at the bottom with the exception of 2. So, and that's the control, the outcome of the Super Bowl. That's the control that there's not 4 black quarterbacks in the conference games, to control that there's not 2 more black quarterbacks, which is a trend in football. So what I do, I hold back Pat Mahomes. So let's see if Jordan Love, let's see what happens with Jordan Love and Jalen Hurts to see how they can manipulate that outcome to make sure it's maybe Baker Mayfield versus somebody else. I don't know. So let me go back to the comments. But yeah, in week 9, I'll still do an update because it's halfway by then. It said Miles is going ham. He should be. He's human. He should be. Right. And I'm paying attention to make sure that they don't retaliate against him. It said 12 should ask for a trade. No, he should not. Deshaun Watson asked for a trade. No. But he is $230 million richer. But his career is trash. So if you're a black quarterback and you ask for a trade, just like Terrell Pryor, be prepared for your career to be over. It don't work like that. They're not discriminating against these black quarterbacks and then suddenly going to let them have their way. No. The belief is that Deshaun Watson felt as the leader of the team after the supposedly agreement that was made wasn't honored, that the Texans would talk to him before trading his wide receiver 1, which is essentially trading Travis Hunter, which is DeAndre Hopkins, who balling out for the Ravens. That didn't happen. That was the agreement. So he asked for a trade. And they decided that's something that they knew what was going on. That Deshaun was added to the group. I'm going to just say it like that. They decided to remind Deshaun or put him in his place. Like Shedeur. Deshaun thought he could ask for a trade because he was the leader of the team. Shedeur thought coming out of college, I could want to play for a team and help do what I've done in college, which is take a team who's struggling and help to turn them into a winner, because that's what he can do. That's his gift, right? If you keep doing it from high school to Jackson State to Colorado, you could do it in the NFL, and they know that. But they want to put him in his place too. It's the same thing. So how much money will Shedeur get if Deshaun got $230 million? Because they wanted to put him in his place, boy. It says 6 years in college wasn't enough. He is propped up because he's white. Dillon is not white. If Dillon is white, he wouldn't even be in this situation. You do know they could have got a white quarterback, right? They chose not to. They chose to prop up Dillon because he's not white. They don't want to hurt their own. If you pay attention to what's going on, somebody sent me a text or whatever and said that some quarterback that was popular in NFL had a DUI this weekend. And see, I even forgot his name. They say, you notice nobody's talking about it. Right. Justin Tucker, Deshaun Watson. From what I heard of the Justin Tucker scenario, that was disgusting. And those women came forward. With Deshaun Watson, they got found. People went looking for them. And they didn't have to look too hard. They just had to go back to the group that Deshaun got added to and get the numbers from them. But we didn't hear nothing about them. Enjoy your $230 million, Deshaun. Go start your own. It said it looks like a duck. If it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, and sounds like a duck, it's a duck. And the duck doesn't look like his predecessor, Bo Nix. Right. That's interesting. That is very interesting. It said Dillon Gabriel is a Nepo baby. Ridiculous. Actually, Stefanski is the Nepo baby. Stefanski is the Nepo baby who's entitled and doing what was done for him. He's doing for Dillon. But here's the thing, right? They making Dillon look bad. And the money that Dillon makes is supposed to smooth over the humiliation. Oh, don't worry about that. Don't worry about what they say. Enjoy your millions. But Deshaun can't enjoy his millions. He got to get trashed every week. and then, what Justin Tucker, is he actually on another team or did they boot him out silently? Because they surely moved him out the way and they came up with a wonderful excuse. His performance is suffering. No excuse for Deshaun. His performance wasn't suffering. So like I say, he got added to a group. People in Texas know this, which means the NFL know this, which tells you why Deshaun got $230 million. Likely, allegedly. I think he's padding Dillon's stats, but guess what? He didn't succeed today. Dillon was compared to Brady stat-wise. What? They get mad when you compare Shedeur to Brady. And the reason why I believe my theory and my honest opinion that Lamar Jackson got his third MVP snatched is because the headlines could be Lamar Jackson gets his third MVP. Brady, it took Brady 11 seasons to get 3. Lamar Jackson got it in 6 or 7. It's that Deion Sanders, I respect him. What you mean he fell back, Rose? Let me know. It's that Dillon is doing the same thing we saw in June. Right, that's what I mean. When Haslam, I knew when Haslam came out to say Stefanski has done good work for us, I'm like, it must be at your house working on your shed in your backyard, because clearly we don't even know how he got 2 Coach of the Year awards. And then they said something about he runs a CEO style offense. That was hilarious. That was hilarious. Matter of fact, if the CEO of Target had to step down, why is it Stefanski have been moved out the way? Because they choosing to ignore what the fans, the customers, the consumers are saying. Target makes $100 million. The Browns don't even make 10. I mean, excuse me. Target makes 100. Is it 100 million? The Browns don't even. I think they made it to. They haven't hit $1 billion yet, I don't think. So maybe Target makes billions. Point is, Target had to listen at some point because of the pressure. Haslam came out to speak up because of the pressure, but he came out to speak up to cover Stefanski because Stefanski was catching heat. So Haslam like, he do good work for us. No, he don't. The work that he does has nothing to do with football. That's the problem. It said Kevin days are numbered. Haslam days should be numbered. That's when they should be numbered. It said Shedeur is chilling. He knows these clowns aren't better than him. Shedeur is he know he's not better. Yeah, they don't like Shedeur being himself. It said I hope they keep the coach and the quarterback while playing Shedeur to watch the circus from the front row. Whew. No, I think Stefanski got to get the hell off the property before Shedeur play. It said Ravens fans are just as bad. It said Shedeur's fans and Lamar's fans are the only fans that get hate for being there to support their favorite player. Yeah, because think about it, right? What happened when a Bills fan, after the Bills won and cheated the Ravens? They try to hurt Lamar. We just hadn't seen that in Cleveland yet. Be warned. It said, I enjoyed the game today. It said Dillon is an entertainer. You actually watched it? Come on now. I know your time got to be more valuable than that. Dart is flashy. Shedeur is flashy. What's the problem? Oh, I forgot. Shedeur is black. He's not just black. He's also heavily melanated too. That if you notice, who just brought it up? Who did he compare Shedeur Sanders fan base to? Lamar Jackson, right? Because those two are the only two I can think of who were treated in NFL drafts the way that they were. Lamar had won the Heisman. Shedeur was the best quarterback coming out of college. They don't want to see Shedeur versus Lamar because that's all we're going to talk about. And they intentionally went and got Shedeur to be in the same division with Lamar, but don't want to let him play against Lamar. But let's talk about the last 4 games because I think it might happen. Let's see. It's somebody. Let's see. They carefully chose these games. Let's see. NFL. Let's see Cleveland's schedule. All right. So the Cleveland Browns last 4 games. I just tell y'all. The Bengals. So that's Flacco. Aaron Rodgers of the Steelers. These games are supposed to be tough, and Shedeur is not supposed to win them. The Bills. Josh Allen. They don't expect Shedeur to win. That's December 21st, right before Christmas. Dear Santa, I want Shedeur to go 4-0. And then Caleb Williams and the Bears. That's going to be a good game. If you watched Chicago versus the Ravens today, that's basically what the Bears and the Browns going to be like. That was a good game. The vibe, it was a good game. So basically, November 19th. So they want Dillon because according to Stefanski, and you got to wonder if he really liked Dillon. Dillon got to play against the Jets who just won the day and Justin Fields who riding high. Then he got to go to town and play the Ravens. How much you bet Lamar Jackson ain't back? It wouldn't surprise me if Lamar Jackson don't come back till the 23rd of November, right before Thanksgiving. Keep your eye on that one. Keep your eye on that one because Huntley played today. He balled out. He won. I have no idea. Does anybody know how long Lamar is supposed to be out? If not, I can look it up. Let's see if Lamar is back by November 16th because you got to be crazy to put Dillon in there versus Lamar. And then, but you know what? I think the Ravens already gifted them a game. So I don't know if they're going to gift them two. But remember, the Browns are at the bottom. I mean, I think is it the Ravens are at the bottom now? And then they go to play the Raiders, and I heard the Raiders aren't good. And then it's Brock Purdy or Mac Jones and the 49ers. And then it's Cam Ward and the Titans. That's a little tough stretch for Dillon. That's a tough stretch for Dillon. So they saving Shedeur until Caleb Williams and the Bears, which means if Shedeur beats the Bears, that's bad for Caleb. Because the Bears are actually on a good high. And don't forget, they paid Caleb's backup $10 million in Caleb's face. You're supposed to help your quarterback to feel confident and assured, like Stefanski's doing for Dillon, who's proven he's not an NFL caliber quarterback. They don't do that for Caleb. They want him to be rattled out of his cage and uncomfortable. You see? It's the way they get treated. That's why, fellas, go start your own. I'm going to give you a t-shirt that say go start your own with a football on it. Hopefully y'all get the message. So that's what it is, right? Shedeur got Caleb in the Bears, Josh Allen in the Bills, who got something to lose because they in second place right now, and the Steelers in first place, and the Bengals who are in second place. So let me know what y'all think about them last 4 games. All right, let me get back to these comments. It said, oh, Big Snacks, we in here. What's up, Big Snacks? Y'all show Big Snacks some love. He might not still be in here now because, you know, we've been at this for how long? 2 hours? Are we 2 hours in? No, we 1 hour and 46 minutes. Almost. All right. Let me hurry up and get through the comments. Shout out to Big Snacks. How you doing over there, sir? Turney said that coach Vrabel for the Patriots used to be a coaching consultant of the Browns and turned that team around in a year's time. They are 6-2. When was Vrabel a coaching consultant and who was the quarterback? It said, did a darn hospital ball get Cam Scatterboo hurt? I don't know. I don't know. I heard he's hurt, but I don't know what happened. 144 draft pick because he's flashy. Okay, right. But they got, like I said, DUIs out here, domestic violence, you know, but Aaron Rodgers still can go out here and pick where the hell he want to retire. And he don't want to retire Pittsburgh. He want to retire where Jordan Love is at, doing well. You see? Why does he even get that kind of, that's so Jim Crow, right? Did the Browns only draft Shedeur to keep him from going to the Steelers in the 5th round? In the what? The 5th round. There's smoke that the NFL ordered all teams to pass on him until round 5, and the Steelers would have taken him. Shedeur was going to be an undrafted free agent. I do believe by round 5, they had already had them phone calls that Haslam had told us about it. Everybody was in the room. So they made the decision, since y'all pre-draft with Shedeur and y'all trash, just send him over there and bury him on the depth chart. Now, why it is they thought Shedeur 6 million fans that they knew about, at least 4 million of us at the time, would be okay with that, is because they think we don't stick together. And they clearly either don't care if his fans are white or they don't believe that he has white fans. They thought they could win this argument. If they kick Shedeur out this league, I'm telling you right now, more than the 4 to 6 million people gonna go with him, which could be why they're holding him hostage. Can't blame the 2-6 record on Shedeur, right? And they had Huntley, and they could have put Huntley on the practice squad, but they didn't want him either, and they'd have done him dirty twice. They want to treat Shedeur like Huntley. Oh, we just gonna wave you in, you know, good luck to you. What did Odell Beckham Jr. say? They made the worst trade possible for him. They sent Shedeur to the worst team on purpose. They sent Deshaun Watson to the worst team on purpose. We might have to pay you $230 million, but we won't have to let you enjoy your career with our $230 million. Retaliation, retaliation, retaliation. Fellas, go get your own. Hashtag, go get your own. They say Kevin does not care. He is determined to keep Dillon Gabriel in no matter what. Facts, because that's his marching orders. And they know it wasn't a tall task to ask him to do such, because anybody holds themselves out as a servant leader of a team or something like that is excuse me. Hold on one second. Anybody that holds themselves as a servant leader anybody that holds themselves as a servant leader of a job is not a servant leader of a job. At all. Understand that at all. Better Days said, sadly, the family will die on this hill with Dillon. Yeah, he has chosen to die on the hill named Dillon Gabriel. I totally agree. They don't say anything to Miles. They not, but they gonna try to get him behind closed doors. I suspect Miles Garrett, if you see this, make sure you put cruise control on at 60, 65 when you come through Strongsville, or we're gonna have to hear about your 9 speeding ticket. That's why they don't want to give the players guaranteed contracts, because they can't. So yes, I totally agree. Stefanski has been promised he has no consequences for dying on the hill. That is Dillon Gabriel. But let's talk about somebody who I think has decided to use a 5 a.m. arrest to make a point. All right, so yeah, let me see if I can share this photo. That's the question today on X. I said, is the NBA scandal, is it still on the Mafia Bank gambling scandal where Chauncey Billups is the face of it? Is it still on, or did they change their mind? So I saw something that was talking about, Chauncey Billups' arrest. And, with these types of high profile arrests where we all got to know about it, they knew about it too, right? So he got arrested at what I call dark 30. What do I mean by that? It's 5 a.m. The sun is not up. So whether you get arrested or not, at 5 a.m., you not dressed to be arrested, because they didn't tell you they was coming at 5 a.m. They could have came at 8 a.m. if that was the case. So Chauncey Billups decides that when he finds that he getting arrested at 5 a.m. last week, he had to put some clothes on, and his choice of clothing I find to be very, very interesting. Chauncey Billups got dressed when the police knocked on the door at about 4:45 or 5 a.m. for an arrest that he likely knew was coming for illegal gambling. He chose to put on a Clutch Sports Group hoodie. If this ain't a message, Chauncey Billups say, I am not going down by myself. That's exactly what this is right here. This is how Stefanski gonna be when they turn on him, because they gonna do it. When the Manning families finally get involved and they want their own coach, and it ain't Kevin Stefanski, he gonna put on a hoodie that says something like this. He gonna put on a Shedeur Sanders hoodie and be out here, and people gonna be like, what the hell is going on with him? That's his way of saying, I'm not going down by myself. You see the correlation here? Stefanski gonna get in trouble. He gonna put on a Shedeur Sanders hoodie for the same reason that at 5 a.m. when Chauncey Billups got arrested, he put on a Clutch Sports Group hoodie. I am not going down by myself. Y'all better fix this. Just know. And I know this man was the face card. I don't know how he got added to the group, but he was added to the group, hence the hoodie. All right, y'all, that's my time for the night. That's my time for the night, connecting the dots all over the place. Again, haven't heard anything else about this scandal, but that hoodie says a lot. It might explain why we don't hear much. How long before the Browns actually turn on Stefanski for his role in helping to try to take down Shedeur? Let's see if anybody told me what they thought Shedeur's trade value is. Y'all told me y'all thought Dillon's wasn't good. It said the hate for Shedeur has backfired. There it is. Now that's facts. That's facts right there. It said they need to be seriously investigated. Right. All of them investigators, news channels out there, if sweep week's coming, y'all got a lot to work with. You got a lot to work with. It makes sense to draft. It doesn't make sense to draft 2 QBs in the same draft. Not at all. And it definitely doesn't make sense to have 4 quarterbacks on your roster and you bring in an undrafted free agent from Memphis so you can have 5. Somebody about to be traded. I heard what Stefanski said, but I have no idea why you would have 5 quarterbacks knowing Deshaun Watson can come back to practice, I think, the end of next week or the beginning of the week after the trade deadline or somewhere. That's 5 quarterbacks. So who is getting ready to get gone? Now, we know Stefanski is not transparent. I'm going to say it that way. So he said he's not making no changes. He said that with Flacco. So I expect some kind of change, because why would you audition a quarterback that can't help you to win? Answer that question, and then maybe we can understand what's going on. Why would the Browns bring in a quarterback to try out on the same day that they took Bailey Zapp off the practice squad? Why would they bring in an undrafted free agent that cannot help you win when you already have 4 quarterbacks? The best one that can help you win, you refuse to play him. We shall see. All right, y'all. I guess I was looking for your comment to see. It said Cleveland winning 2 more games at best. It's a 4-13 season. And what did they go last year? 3-14. This is planned and scripted. They just waiting on the Manning kid to come out. And if he keep winning, it'll be this year. To a lot of people's surprise. And they going to figure out how to get him to go first. And personally, they don't care about losing. They don't care about the position they put Dillon in. They don't care about their fans. They don't care about winning. He could just be first because his last name. And they don't care what you say about the disparity between how he was treated and Shedeur, because they don't care that Jackson Dart plays with his diamonds on and Shedeur can't. Jimmy the Crow. All right, that's it. I'm gone. I'll be back tomorrow at 10:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you're not over there already on Patreon, I can go live on Patreon now. So I guess I have enough members or something. So I'm gonna be going live on Patreon, and I'm probably gonna start looking through that indictment and start looking through this person's indictment and that person's indictment to talk about these kind of things over there, the legalities of a lot of things that is happening. I might look into Tyrod Taylor's lawsuit, because I think last I checked, when I found out that he was suing the NFL because they punctured his lung and the doctor still worked for the Chargers, I thought he was supposed to have some kind of trial or something, because he asked for a jury trial October of 2025. It is October of 2025, almost November. And I just kind of want to see what's going on to that. So we'll be looking behind the scenes into things that don't get talked about over there while we're over here saying what needs to be said over here. So check me out, become a Patreon peep over there, and turn your notifications on, because I will have my first live over there one day this week. All right, I'll see y'all later. We're going to still be doing the same thing over here right now at 10:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. Subscribe. Subscribe. And make sure y'all hit the like button and go shop what's new at What She Said Sports and use my code NOLAGIRL, NOLAGIRL, at checkout, all caps. All right, I'll see y'all later. Have a good one, everybody. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Be sure to join our daily live stream and listen up to What She Said Sports on the go on Spotify. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Stay for another video.